Gary Wolf started Wolf Communication Systems with just a toolbox and the vision of an entrepreneur. Gary has built his business into a well-respected company that provides the cabling necessary for buildings, which businesses now require to be productive in the 21st century world of connectivity. But Gary realized that internal roadblocks within his own company were hampering its growth. So while Gary was busy modernizing the cable needs of his customers, Gary brought in a team of business experts to modernize the management structure of his own company to improve his productivity and bottom line while accelerating its growth for the future. What are the insights you gained from the business analysis?
I believe that the big issue was we were so close to the forest we only saw the trees. We only saw what was around us. And I believe it's a wise business practice to get a perspective from outside experienced influences that we're sheltered from. And the fact that once we did the analysis, we recognized we had a liability problem. So we broke the company into 3 separate businesses, corporations. One was for management that takes care of the owners of the company as far as their liabilities and their pay structures. Another one was a leasing company where our major components within our company are leased back to the operating company. And when it's all said and done, it added money to our bottom line. It not only paid for itself, but it really added money to our bottom line.
How did our consultants help you improve your business operations?
Well, Tom, the key to this was the fact that we had plateaued in our profitability and we had no time to ourselves to even investigate what the next step was. So the guys come back in, they helped us to sit down and analyze that, and what we found out is we had a bottleneck in our management structure. So we restructured our management side of the business. We added some management in, and what it did, it not only freed up my time, but it freed up their time as well. And we put in an employee benefit program, a bonus program. We brought in a employee handbook manual for guidelines. We brought in procedures and policies that helped everybody form as a team and move forward. And then all of a sudden, after we implemented that for 6 months to 8 months, everybody got used to it. We were in the process of buying out another company at that time, and we were able to put that structure in place with this new buyout, and we doubled sales again.
Gary, how did our consultants help you create a productivity-based compensation plan?
When they came in, we identified what our norm was, what our normal productivity was. And we really believed that we treat our people very fairly. We give of ourselves as owners before we take. So, and they understand that. And we really believe that our productivity was pretty close to 95%. I mean, we had a mechanism in place to judge that. But what we found out was if we did a 5, 10, 15% increase in bonuses, depending on the mathematical model we used, that it actually increased productivity. But we did it in such a way that we went out there and talked to the employees. We got to know one another better. And it wasn't just the bonuses that at the end of the year that were paid out that made a difference. It was the fact that we all came together as a team. And we're all in this for the good of the organization and not the good of ourselves. We're more of a family unit now than we were before. And in that sense, it increased the productivity enough that it paid for itself, plus brought money to our bottom line.
How did you benefit from the financial reporting system our consultants put in place for you?
We benefited by the fact that our old financial package was holding us back. And we knew it was a little bit of a bottleneck, but we didn't realize how bad. With a fresh set of eyes and a perspective, and I would say gentleness with my wife and I as owners, because we had developed that package, with hiring a programmer to do it. We felt ownership of that, and we were really proud of it. It accomplished a lot of things. It was very productive, but it was holding us back because our company had grown into multiple offices, multiple divisions within those offices. And in order to get through to have the right reporting structure, we needed a new financial package, an operating system package, and some resistance on our part. This is where ownership bias gets in the way. It held us back because we didn't know of anything any better than we had. We really believed in it, but it wouldn't give us the reporting structure that we needed for the multiple divisions, the multiple offices, and we knew that, so we were kind of finding ways to work around that. What that did, though, it took our productivity down because it was more labor intensive. This new package frees up our time to spend more time on areas of growth and development than we've had in the past. So they really identified a major hurdle that we had, that we owned. And it took them 3 weeks to get us through that process. There was some frustration on everybody's part, but they were good, firm, gentle. They told us that they would let us decide whether we wanted to do it or not, whether we wanted to grow or not. They always put a little bit of pressure in behind all the decisions, which they should. And after we've made the move, it's always easier to look in hindsight and say, why didn't we do this earlier? But there again, as a company, as an island unto itself, you need a fresh set of eyes coming in periodically. We've had these guys in 3 times, probably have them in a lot more times, because every time we do, we grow, we add money to our bottom line, and it doesn't take long to pay back the cost of their consulting fees.
How did our consultants help you get ready to grow your business in the future?
One of the major obstacles to growing a business is you can grow too fast. You can also grow too slow. It's important to understand your structure to where you do not outgrow your cash flow. And what is that percentage of growth? What is the right number that you need to look for growth? Of course, you want to grow as much as you can, but you don't want to go out of business doing it. They helped us structure in a way that it guided us through a fast growth process with balancing and maintaining the cash flow that we had. We put things into place that we could monitor our cash flow and our growth expectancies through this. As you know, it's difficult to go to the bank and borrow money. Our company has a pretty good credit rating. That is not one of our difficulties. We have a pretty good sized line of credit. But why don't we become that bank? We want to grow on our own income. Put that in a management company that we created early on and lend that to the business within IRS regulations so we don't step outside of that. They helped us to structure all that. And we have been able to grow again, increase our business, manage the cash flow, the employee management along without stressing everybody out. It's just an easier place to work now than it was before.
Gary, what would you say to a business owner who's considering using our analytical and consulting services to improve his business?
Tom, one of the keys to this business improvement is the multiple times we've had the consultants in. We've had them in 3 times. We know we're going to have them in the future, probably multiple times. Each time you get to a level in your business, you need a little help to get over that hump. Because as an entrepreneur, you're sitting back focusing on where are the weaks and strengths in your own business? What are the needs that can be met? How can we meet those needs of other businesses? And you get so focused on that, you don't have time a lot of times to focus on the detail. Neither do your managers. They're looking at productivity, they're looking at where they can grow, what new customers they can bring on. And the thing that always slides in a business are the detail stuff. When bringing a consultant in, he identifies those areas of weakness, even beyond what you can see. You need that fresh set of eyes out there looking at your business. You need that fresh view of seeing opportunities. They need to know how your business operates. They need to get in your head to understand how you're operating, and they do an excellent job at that. These consultants are professional. They've worked before in the industries that they come in to your business to represent, whether it's tax, whether it's management structure, whether it's growth, whatever it is. They have the right people to put in place. And once you go through the process, you always are a phone call away from any questions that you might have. They're there all the time for you. It's like forming a partnership or bringing a staff in that you don't have to pay for all the time. Yes, you have to pay for upfront costs. There's no way around that. But what we found out is in the costs that are associated on our profitability side, we're doubling our profitability. We're doubling our growth. We're doubling our customer unity. We're doubling our employee unity. We're putting new managers. We're hiring new people. We're growing our business. I can honestly say if this was left up to just myself and my wife as owners of this company, we'd be a third of the size that we are now. They help you see what you can't see because you're just so close to your company's issues.
Gary, describe to me what your business was like before you brought in our team of business experts and how it has changed for the better today.
The best word that I can describe that is chaos. We were trying to figure out how to grow, how to bring on a sales team, how to organize it, how to put it together, and stress was really, really high. The team came in and said, what is the one thing you would like to do? And all of us answered the question, we'd like to have more time to ourselves. We are so engulfed in this business. They helped us identify that. They helped us to see that you can not only go and grow your company, but after being in here 3 times, triple your company and even beyond. And it's possible to do it with more time to yourself, to more time to other needs, to community involvement, to church involvement, to things that you have interest in outside of the business. Even though the business has to be your primary focus, we all need to get away from our business. Taking a vacation was impossible. When I went on vacation, I took my laptop, my cell phone. I was connected every day. But since I actually got away on 2-week vacation at once, for the first time since I've owned this business in 20 years. And it wasn't just one time. We actually, my wife and I took a week off a month. And other people, other managers are able to take off time without falling apart. And we did this by doubling, tripling our company, and our net worth increased. Now, how can you have more relaxed time and have more net worth? To an entrepreneur, that's an impossibility. But by bringing the consultants in, helped us to identify this is a possibility. Not that you want to neglect your business, your mind's on there, but when you get away for a couple weeks at a time or 1 week a month, you begin to unstress yourself. And it gets to the point where business isn't a heavy burden on you. It's fun. And that would be what I would say the big difference is. We went from a stressful burden situation to enjoying what we do.
What benefit did you get from the strategic tax planning for you and your business?
Tom, in order to put a plan into place, there must be goals put together. And a lot of times we get caught up in the rush of doing business that seems to slide. You know, it's more than just today. Where's this company going to be in the next generation and the generation after that? We build for long term. We don't build just for today. We're not a hit and run type of organization. When the consultants came in, they helped us to identify early on some structures within our own organization that we created different divisions within our company, different locations within our company that all have a benefit. But with that increase also comes tax liabilities. And we want to stay within the bounds of legality with the IRS. That's the one thing. I'm not looking over my shoulder. If somebody pays us cash, we pay tax on it. I'm not going to bed at night worrying. I'm that kind of guy. okay? They helped us put together a plan that kept us within the IRS restraints. We had to work with our accountants some because, as you well know, they work on where you're at today in your historical side. But the tax codes change, which they keep up with, but how far are they willing to risk? Do they really understand the risk? Do they really, they're nervous to take you out there, okay, where you may want to wander. So what the plan did for us, it let us look at what's real and what's not, what's acceptable, what's not. As you well know, the IRS is gray. They could be anywhere. But my goal in life is not to give money to the IRS. My goal in life is to donate money to charities and to give to other organizations of need and to set some money back for our retirement. And they helped us put together a plan. Plus, we went into 3 different company structures, 3 different corporations that helped us structure that. And they're there for me to call anytime I want. They're there to help, to assist, to give us the guidelines, where the boundaries are. I actually called them up one time and said, I'd like to do this. And they said, don't go there. You don't want to go out there. You're stretching it too far. And I said, fine, I don't want to. I just heard somebody else talking about this, and they said, that's a bad way to go. So they keep us in bounds. Now, at other times they'll say, you know, you really can do this. This is an acceptable tax write-off. And who would have ever thought that some of these were acceptable, except for the politicians that put them into place. So they're very valuable like that, and they helped us structure for today and tomorrow. We still have to structure for the future a little bit more yet. We're going to have them back to do that. But we have a plan in place that'll put us into retirement, and we're giving a lot of money away at the end of the year. I just need enough to live on, and I need enough for my retirement. We did 1/3 for our retirement, 1/3 to our employees, and 1/3 to all the charitable areas last year. We divided the profits up into thirds, and that's how we did it. And the employees were shocked at what their bonuses were.